Hey bud, how are we feeling today?
We are feeling really good today. Every day you're on above Earth instead of below Earth is a good day to be around, right? As they say.
It's honestly really true.
Especially nowadays.
How did you feel shooting today?
It's fun. A lot of fun. I really do enjoy acting. I like being trying to play different roles. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to put this one quietly. I don't want to disturb the video content, but I still got to clean up. I'm very need to keep my house clean. So after you shoot, clean up.
Do you find it hard to keep your house clean with
yes.
many members in your family?
Yes, and I don't like it as clean as much as me. I'm much more involved in that. Not to degrade other people, but I have to.
Who do you think is the most cleanly person in your family?
Cinnamon, but she's a dog, so she'll eat everything off the ground.
She ate a pickle earlier.
Yeah, she ate a whole pickle. That was very interesting. You know, I was raised that way. I guess, you know, when I was a young person, I did the wash. You know, it's not like there were chores that we all had chores in the house, and I don't know how, if I chose it or whether I wanted, whether it was chosen for me, but I did the wash every day. The wash was done, so it was always a chore, and you had to keep it clean. You had your own room, but you had to keep it clean. So, you know, it was always the idea of keeping clean is just part of who I am, to some degree. You know, and the biggest influence in my life was when I was in the 6th grade, and I had my desk a little messy, maybe a lot messy. And my teacher came to my desk, and he dumped it in front of the whole class. And I was humiliated for my whole class. So from that moment on, as much as painful as it is, I became much more organized. So like people say, it's like bullying is really bad for you and all teasing. No, it changed me. If that didn't happen to me, I would probably not be as quote organized as I am today.
Would you say that traumatic experiences in life help you grow?
Yes. I think if everything was just perfect in life, we would not be the same people we are today. I think that's one of the, also we learn from good and bad. I hope I learned, I've gone through a lot of difficult moments in my life that were really hard, and they kept me the character that I am, you know, and I hope that, you know, I think that's happens to most people. And, or it changes you to be a bad person. You know, some people can't get over bad things happening in life. I hope they make me a better person. That's the goal. To take all the bad and make it good in some way.
If you have somebody who is struggling to get over a bad moment in their life, what would you suggest they do to cope or at least learn from those mistakes?
I think the key is just to know that as long as you're here on this earth, and you're here and you have some type of social relationship with other people, there's always another tomorrow. You know, you just got to keep that in perspective, as bad as it seems. And a lot of people have gone through the same experience as you did. So as long as you can keep that in mind, you can get through it. And I think faith is really important. If you don't have faith that there's a purpose and there's a meaning and there's karma, and to me, God, of course. But if you don't have that, I don't know how people deal with life, honestly. I couldn't deal with it. I mean, I remember when I was arrested. I was arrested for this heinous crime at a young age. And all because I stood up for some political position, some guy that was really not nice. And my whole life seemed to end right there. You know, I was in the jail cell. And I was there for 25 hours. I didn't do anything wrong. Any moment I would actually say that was really my life, I actually considered that it's not worth it, because I worked so hard to live a good life. And at that point, actually, I even thought about running for office and all this stuff in my head about, you know, everything was going in the direction I wanted in some degree. And this was like, my whole life was ruined because someone called me some name. And for years, I wouldn't even talk about it because I was so humiliated, ashamed of doing nothing wrong. I was falsely accused. And I had a good lawyer, and I had a good, the system was not good because I should investigate it beforehand. But in the end, what happened, it was dropped before the grand jury was called. It cost my family a lot of money, cost me years and years of my life of trying to cope with it. And if I didn't have faith, I couldn't, because the story of Joseph got me through that, biblically, because of what he went through. And other than that, and it's hard. It's hard. But that's why I said without faith, I don't know how people do it.
How long did it take you to get over it, or at least accept it?
Well, honestly, it took years. Maybe, I would say 15 years. I didn't talk about too many people with it because it's so embarrassing. Even though you're not even any inclination of guilt to this whole thing. It's totally ridiculous. You just feel like it's just a dirty thing that you call it. It's nothing like you just don't want to tell anybody. And I just said, I don't know, just got to the point where I just said, forget it, screw it. And that's why I can never be embarrassed. That's the good thing about it. Because what I went through was the most embarrassing day of my life and most hurtful part of my life. So I don't know whether anything else can tear me apart like that.
So you feel because you grew from your lowest, you're so much stronger now and you can deal with anything?
Right. So if that experience did happen to me, then I don't know whether I can be as empathetic to people who were falsely accused. I always try to find people innocent before guilty. That's my biggest thing. I always give people the break. I always think people should get a second chance. And I don't think I'd be the person I am today. So even though this person wanted total evil for me and to destroy my life, I was able to change it to make myself a better person. And I think more sympathetic, more empathetic, and appreciate life more. Because when you're in jail for 25 hours and you don't know what's going to happen in life, it makes you appreciate eating food. It makes you appreciate going to bed. It makes you appreciate life in a whole different element. So it changed my whole thing. That was a bad influence that made things different. Even like this coronavirus time, when you're stuck in the house and you don't know what's going to happen, or these other things going on, you just got to try to think that this is just a phase. Otherwise, it'll eat you up. I think a lot of times it comes from those small things. Sometimes it's just like petting your dog, getting somebody to say, hey, thank you, or appreciate what you do, or the little things you do in your house, whether you're cleaning, sweeping, whatever. Or sometimes it's the small things make a difference. Sometimes it's just the best with me is why I'm so into this creativity is showing my creativity, just getting my ideas. The blog is so important. It's like going to a therapist without paying the bill. You get all your ideas out, and you don't have to worry about, because I'm not that famous yet, then I'm going to be judged. And so it's a really therapeutic thing to do in life, and it's really helpful, I think, because when it doesn't stay in my head, it goes on paper. And I make stories out of it and so forth. So be creative. Know that there's a new tomorrow. And have faith. Faith that God has a purpose for you higher than you can see.